You guys won't believe how much time I put in the past 3 days. I just decided to go hardcore on this project and get this going because I just started watching robot videos on YouTube. I was like, man, I've got to build a robot. I can do better than these robots I see in these DARPA challenges and stuff. They're moving like turtles, and I just feel like I can do something better. So I'm just going for it. I'm all in. And I spent like 57 hours in the past 3 days working on this. I did 18-hour days back to back, and then today I'm like 19 hours into today. I just dropped all my other projects to work on this. I want to get at least the forearm and the humerus, which is like the bicep bone. I at least want to get those done, as well as the wrist and the thumb, so that it can do like a bicep curl and it can move the thumb around. And then, like, if I can have that, that's going to look super cool and get everyone pumped. And my YouTube channel will probably start getting a lot of hits then too. Is it going to run at human speed or superhuman? That really depends on the servo motors. If I can get really powerful motors, it can run at superhuman speed, absolutely. I mean, we're talking about the limitations of the hardware, and I'm not like building hardware. Sure, I'm sculpting these bones and stuff, but I'm purchasing all the circuit boards, I'm purchasing all the wiring, I'm purchasing all the servo motors, I'm purchasing all the batteries. I'm using a lot of other people's technology. Like, I'm not making everything myself. So really, how fast it can run and different things like that will depend on the hardware I have. But even if like it can't run that fast or something like that, I think like servo motors are going to improve over the years, and then I'll be able to upgrade and then get him running at superhuman speed. But yeah, definitely I would want him to run at superhuman speed. But we're talking quite a ways into the future. I mean, getting it to be able to stand and walk would be step one. Actually, just getting him to be able to do this, like, that's what everyone wants to see, the money shot. The robot, like, doing that. As soon as people see that, everyone's going to get so excited for this project. And who knows, I might even get donations someday. I don't really need them right now. Like, I've been able to buy a lot of this stuff so cheap. Like, all I'm using is thread and crazy glue. I spent like $60 to make all these bones. But once I start getting into a lot of the servo motors, that can start to get a little bit expensive, but I don't know. I mean, the donations would kind of be like to pay for me to be able to do this full time. Like, to kind of to cover my living expenses while I'm in development. I don't know if that counts though. I mean, I could use donations directly to buy servo motors and stuff like that, but I've already got like 12 of them. And actually, that's going to get used up really fast, though. Just to have the fingers fully articulated like this, it's going to take like at least 3 motors per finger, and then like a couple for the wrist, and I'm going to need like 5 of them for the bicep to have some strength in it. Make 2 arms and hands, and then make them reproduce Naruto's ninja moves. That would be pretty cool. I definitely wanted to be able to dance, but having it do some ninja moves would be really cool. Like, imagine how many hits on YouTube a robot that's doing ninja moves would get. Seriously. I would probably start to make a decent living just from my YouTube channel and maybe even Twitch if I were to have a robot doing ninja moves or anything really cool and advanced. I'd probably get enough money through advertising revenue to be able to make that full-time just like that. Plus, I'm planning to have a website. I've got artbyrobot.com, which is empty still, and I'm going to sell robot parts on there. So like people that are fans of my project can buy their parts or buy kits of stuff that I used on mine if they want to try to make their own and copy. Like, follow along. I'm doing everything open source, except probably not the code. Maybe you could put together a presentation and try to get a Kickstarter going. Well, Yeah, that's a good idea. I've never really gone after Kickstarter for my other projects before, or businesses I've started in the past. But that's a possibility. You know, I might be eligible to get some kind of research grant from, I don't know, a government agency or DARPA or something, but they're going to think I'm an idiot if they just see a bunch of clay. Like, I got to get, like, you know, this happening. You know, I got to get something badass to prove that I'm legit and this is going to be a great project. I mean, basically, the robot has to be almost done before I get people convinced that I'm going to make it and then give me a lot of money. So then, I don't know, it's kind of backwards. I get the money after I don't really need it and I've already bought everything. No, I mean, I was able to. You like complicated? Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's I like complicated. Um, I like big, like epic. I like things to be um very challenging and large in scope and scale and like approaching my my best that I can do, like pushing myself. You should try to emulate the human form as much as possible with this. Oh yeah, I mean, I'm gonna try to make it like as lifelike as I possibly can. I mean, even having its chest expand, contract when its artificial lungs are breathing, and you'll see in the wintertime smoke coming out of its mouth and nose. That's gonna look really cool. That's gonna be like my favorite part probably, because I can't even imagine a robot that looks like it's breathing, and it actually is breathing because it's cooling itself down that way. Well, having all those servo motors kind of makes your creation way more adaptable. For example, if it loses one of the motors, it would still have all the others. Yeah, definitely. I mean, this thing's even going to have, like, let's say, four servo motors for the biceps. So if one snapped or broke, it'd still have three. What about the eyes and mouth? Um, Probably can all be done the same way. I have been thinking about that. I mean, originally I was like, no, I just want it to be practical, and having the face be able to have expressions, that's not going to make it mow my lawn better. But as I've seen more and more facial expression type robots, I'm starting to kind of lean toward maybe doing something like that because it would be really cool to have that. But that's kind of like icing on the cake. I wouldn't do that right away. It'd be kind of wasteful in a way to go like that far. Yeah, I definitely want the mouth to work. Like it's gonna have working jaw, so but it's not gonna have a tongue that uses air coming out of its lungs to form words, actually speech. I mean, that would be insanely cool, but speech is really hard. Um, for it to talk, I'll just have it lip sync, and then have probably my voice recorded, or maybe some kind of robot voice. But since it's going to look like me, it might as well have my voice. Just for the uncanny valley aspect, like, it would be so cool to have it that much more creepy that it not only looks like me, but it sounds like me. It would creep out my family, at least. I just think having moving eyes would make it more approachable. Moving eyes would make it more approachable. That's interesting. Yeah, facial expressions are not really that much of a priority. After all, even the most advanced AI will be pretty much autistic for at least another couple of decades. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, the facial expressions would just be faked. Like he doesn't really, like he wouldn't have real emotions because the AI wouldn't be good enough for him to really even attempt to feel anything about anything. It'd all just be pre-programmed, like just to make him seem more real. But I mean, there are no artificial intelligence speech programs and stuff that good where the robot would feel anything. It's all just mimicking. Have you guys heard of Elon Musk talking with Bill Gates about the possible danger of artificial intelligence? Yeah, I actually just watched about 30 Elon Musk videos in the past few days. Elon Musk is like my inspiration right now. That's kind of Elon Musk is part of the reason why I decided to do this. Yeah, actually, I was trying to design a robot that could learn and teach itself and reprogram itself. And then when I was learning about artificial intelligence, I found out that if I were to have succeeded with that, I would have created um, the, what's it called? The entity? No. The singularity. That's what you're talking about. That's basically just a theory that the minute a machine learns how to learn, it's going to become so advanced so quickly that it's going to surpass human intelligence very quickly. And that's going to change the world in a big way. There's a lot of movies that cover that, like that recent Johnny Depp movie. It's a kind of scary idea. Without that, it would only think, what's the most efficient way to survive? And that would end out civilization one way or another. It's hard to say. I mean, all that's theory. What if the robot just gets really smart and still sticks to its programming? What if it just answers questions and does what it's told? I mean, it may not have self-interest. It may not be like, I need to destroy humans because they're a nuisance to me. Like, what if it doesn't care either way? What if it's just like, just very knowledgeable and friendly? I mean, most people think artificial intelligence will be sinister in some way or dangerous, but that's just a theory. It could be just useful. It could be just like a really good Google search engine. You can ask it anything. Violently. Why would a robot feel the same way? I think we act violently because of emotion, and a robot probably wouldn't have emotion, even if it did learn really fast. I don't think it would have emotion. So I don't think it would have as much of a chance to be violent. Without that, it would only think, what's the most efficient way to survive? And that AI would have no need to sleep. That's true. A way to communicate way more quick, true, and efficient than ours, and much quicker reasoning, exactly. Yeah, it would be very powerful for those reasons. Without even thinking about a kind of intelligence not chained by biological matters, it may be able to find solutions that we can't even dream about. Absolutely. Or think about problems that are bound to happen decades in the future. Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree with you. I gave up trying to make what we're talking about, the singularity, by the way. I just reasoned like, as soon as it starts thinking all fast and stuff, what if it goes wrong and just malfunctions? Like, it would be beyond me too quickly. Like, once it starts learning a lot, I wouldn't be able to find out where it went wrong if it just kind of reasoned itself into just killing itself or whatever. Or if it just like errored out into an infinite loop, and then I wouldn't even know. Like, it would be like a million or like 20 million lines of code because it keeps programming itself, and I wouldn't know how to fix it. Like, it would get more advanced than me as a programmer, and it would be out of my control by that point. So I think that true artificial intelligence robot would have a good chance of just failing, unless if it programmed its own failsafes. I mean, how far do we have to go before a robot has a soul? That's kind of a moral question. I don't, I don't think a robot could have a soul. It would be an artificial soul. I mean, Ah, yeah, I don't think it could. Philosophers will have to be all over this matter. Yeah, definitely. While the concept of soul is still in need of being clarified. Yeah, that's complicated. Would robots have the same rights as a human? I don't think so. Look how hard it was for anybody new to any civilization to get their rights. Like, everyone has to fight for their rights. I guess someday maybe, but not initially. They'd be treated like pets. Some animals, given the proper conditions, show a certain degree of sentient thoughts. Yeah, I think animals have a soul. Maybe. Kind of. Animals are a lot better than, like, artificial intelligence. They have real intelligence, just not as good as human.